Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Right now, you can barely see the ES is barely registered any range for the day. It is basically trading 10.25 points of range today, pre-market heading into RTH open. We have 25% of average range. It's been averaging about 41 points per day. We're at 10.25 right now. There's the range, very tiny, sitting up at the highs. Obviously, in the previous session, we had a great rejection of the previous low. A rejection of the previous low led to a bullish outside day at one point during the day. And now that we're sitting at highs, we're sitting kind of just above two-day highs here in a tiny box. A failure to hold, say, 3,700 could open up a rotation back toward the previous session's midpoint. That would be about as far down as we could go here in many cases, given how strong this trend has been. 36.86 is that midpoint. So right now, again, this market has been very bullish. It hasn't really been one to fade, but as we are sitting here above the previous session's close, sitting here above the previous two-day highs or around that area, if there were a failure of 3703, 3700, the previous session's close, it opens up the potential to rotate back down toward the previous session's midpoint, 36.86. Overall, this market remains bullish. Any pullback continues to remain a buying opportunity until proven otherwise, as this market continues to march forward toward that 37.81. All right, let's take a look here at the NQ. The NQ also trading a narrow range on the day, 37% of average range right now, 59.5 points of range, small range here. You can see again the previous session started the day with some weakness, ended the day with some strength. That's been the path of the market here lately. Early weakness, late day strength, early weakness, late day strength, early weakness, back up, etc., etc. So right now we're starting with a little bit of weakness here as this thing has been trending lower, downtrending VWAP. Below 12.6 opens up a bit more downside. You have the previous session's midpoint that comes into play at 12.577. That could be an easy target for this market right now. That's about 50 points lower than we currently are. Again, any pullback that could be seen, even if it's below the previous session's low, could still be a trap and go for this market. You can see the 8-period average continues to rise very steadily, and this market hasn't even wanted to test it or touch it, let alone pull back to it. So I mean, this thing has been very, very strong. Look for early weakness to be defended unless price takes out the previous session's midpoint at 577 and cannot reestablish acceptance back above that level. All right, let's take a look now at crude oil. Crude oil appeared as though it was about to get a major continuation to the upside. It got above the previous month's highs here for a couple days, had to rotate back down. Today's high is basically the previous month's high as well. It just hasn't been able to find acceptance above that level, and instead what we've seen is the development of a currently a 10-day narrow range. It also has a 9-day locked in, but the current 10-day narrow range is in. You can see right here, this is the 10 sessions right here that we're quantifying, and that is 52.4% of average range. The expectation is for a major breakout over the next 10 sessions or upcoming 2 weeks, which could take us to about 6 points of range, which would be significant. Again, if we were to test down first, say we hit 44s, again, there could be a bounce off 44s that takes us into 49 or maybe as high as 50 on a 6-point basis here. So this could be tremendous. Again, right now we're stuck in the range, not a whole lot to do when price is mostly sideways here. Got to wait for a potential breakout, and oftentimes when you have a narrow trading range like this, the break happens in the opposite direction first, and then it continues in the rightful direction. So if there were any breakdowns here, watch for rejection for a potentially big move to the upside that could take you 5 to 6 handles. All right, let's take a look now at gold futures. You'll see here gold has reached our 100-point target. We talked about the 1770s holding and the potential to see a return back to the 1870s. We got as high as 1879.80. Right now, We are seeing a failed new low attempt to develop here. Price drop down into the S20, S50 for the day, bounce back up, and is now holding above the previous session's low price. That's very important right now because that could develop into a bigger failed new low that catapults this thing higher. This was a huge move to get back above 1800 that day. We got a big continuation. This was a failure of 2-day lows and then a big outside day, and now we're seeing another failed new low with resistance here at 1880. So again, the next push could take us into that 1900. So right now, today, looking like a pretty decent rejection off the low, developing, not finished by any means, but it's developing into one of those situations that could lead to a bounce higher over the coming 1 to 2 days. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.